Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a swatch and review of these oil pastels. They are from Aiffera. I think that's how it's pronounced. Yeah, the only place it says its name is right here on the barcode, and it's spelled Aiffera. Oil pastels. There are 24. They're listed as having fantastic color, non-toxic, mini oil pastels. I will say that when these came in, this flap was open and most of the pastels inside were loose in the package. It came in a little manila bubble wrap envelope, so most of them were loose. Luckily, none of them were broken. So when I put them back in the package, I tried to put them in this color order. These are the colors that they list: drab, pink, complexion, vermeil, red, salmon pink, orange, yellow, emerald green, moss green, green, aquamarine, dark red, navy blue, blue, Prussian blue, sky blue, pansy, magenta, purple red, coffee, gray, black, and white. Now, this is being marketed towards children, from what I can see. It says here that you do an auditory training, visual training, tactile training, imagination, parent-child activities, and communication skills. Now, here you are, you have a 3 or 4-year-old, you're trying to teach them colors, and you come up there and go, okay, honey, this is drab. What kind of color name is that? I mean, come on. You would think they would come up with something better than drab, really. And complexion. I'm not really happy with that because, I mean, there's so many different colors of complexion, and here you are with this pale peachy color. I don't know. But other than the color names, oh, and here's another thing. Specification colors and contents may vary from illustrations. So, this is what they're saying you're going to get, but they put a disclaimer because you may or may not get these colors. And from what I can tell, I'm not sure that we got these colors exactly. Okay, so let's open it up and I'll show you what I mean. Here we go. There are 24. I put them in the order because I could, as near as I could tell. Now, since these colors don't, the color of the actual pastel itself does not 100% match the colors here, I just did the best I could and assigned them as close as I could tell where they go. They do not have, from what I can see, here you go, any names. It just says non-toxic mini oil pastel. That's it. And I don't see any other name. The wrapper moves, so you can move it up and down. It's not glued onto the pastel, which is good. And so what I did is I created this on some cardstock. It is a swatch chart, and my plan is this first swatch will be straight off of the pastel. I'm just going to swatch it real quick, and I'm not going to do anything to it. This side, I'm going to swatch it as if I was doing my coloring, where I use a cotton swab and I rub it in, and then I take a cotton round and just wipe it down. So we can see what the color looks like when it's first laid down and what the color looks like once you have rubbed it into the paper and wiped most of it off. So the first color that we have here is the drab, what I'm calling the drab. This is coming off a little bit. It looks to me to be a mustard yellow color. Let's see what it looks like. When it's put on the paper. Okay, that's what it would look like if you straight colored it. And this one, I'm going to take it and just put a little bit. Use my cotton swab and rub it in. And then use my cotton round to wipe it down. So as you can see, if you're just, I don't know if it's light enough. Hopefully you can see that. When you lay it down, let me wipe off the crumbs. When you lay it down, the color is pretty saturated. But if you wipe it off and smooth it out, it's very, very pale. So I guess it just depends on what you like for your coloring. The next one I'm going to do, I'm assuming it's either the salmon pink or the pink. I'm calling it pink. Color this in. Use this to wipe it down. The next one is complexion. And this one, as you can see, had a little bit of the green. So I'm going to take this and see if I can, that comes off a little bit. I think I got most of it off. All right, let's do this. You could definitely use this for skin if you wanted to, but it would come out super, super, super pale. Like, unless you were doing it on a tan paper, you wouldn't be able to see it. Let me put some more back over here because I rubbed it off. So if you look at the, put that back. If you look at the complexion, I mean, I can barely see it. And once I rubbed it off, you can't even see it at all. So even if you use it for a base layer, I would say you might have to put 2 or 3 coats or something. I don't know, but it's not very, Now this one, I don't know. I called it vermeil. I may or may not be correct. It's coming across very pink to me, just looking at it. Okay. I will say that they do lay down very smoothly, but there is a big difference between how they first lay down and how they lay down after I do my my rubbing technique. Frankly, when I color, this is what I'm going to be using, because this, I just don't like the way it feels when it's just laid down. All right. Okay, I called this red. I don't think it's red. It looks more orange to me. But this is what I'm going with. And yeah, when I lay it down, it's definitely orange. But honestly, other than the vermeil, which I guess this could be vermeil, I don't know. I wasn't sure what color this would be. But it's definitely laying down orange. The next one, okay. This one I called the salmon pink, but this is yellow orange. I guess. I like I said, I was having a hard time matching some of these colors up. But there was no yellow orange listed. Excuse me. Listed, and there wasn't anything close to what I thought this would be, so that's where I put it. Honestly, I'd put this as salmon pink once it's wiped down, or maybe this one, but I don't know. There you go. And then this one is the one that I called orange. It definitely lays down orange. Sorry, I forgot to do this other side. So that one, I definitely think I have it in the right slot. I definitely think that's the orange. Next is yellow. And this is definitely yellow. It's a bright yellow. There's no mistaking it. So if you look at that, this yellow is just a little bit brighter than this yellow-orange color. and this drab color. So basically, to me, you have 3 yellows here of different shades. Okay, next, this is the one that I labeled emerald green. It's a very, very pale green. This one is the one I labeled moss green, and it looks to be just a little bit darker shade of the emerald green. This next one was just regular green. And like I said, I could be totally off on these colors, but since they're not labeled in any way, these are the ones I'm going with. And this one is aquamarine blue, which appears to be like a turquoise-ish aqua blue green color. The other thing I'm noticing as I'm swatching these is they do leave residue behind as far as crumbles of the oil pastels. Well, I kind of bled over there. I was a little sloppy. Okay. Let's wipe these down. Let's wipe this way. There we go. Okay, so on all the greens, that's the difference. This is the color directly off the crayon or the pastel, and this is what it looks like once it's applied and spread around with the Q-tip and wiped off. Okay, this one looked brown to me, but there was only one other brown color, and that was the coffee, and I didn't think this was coffee, so I put it as dark red. Okay. I don't think in any way, shape, or form this is actually dark red. I would consider it a brown. There you go. Okay, next we are going to do all the blues. All right. I'm guessing here. This was what I named navy blue. I don't think in any way, shape, or form it's actually navy blue, but that's what I'm going with. This one is the one I named just regular blue. There we go. This one I named Prussian Blue. Could also be considered the navy blue, I guess. I'm not sure. But based on the picture, it looked the darkest, and the Prussian blue looked like the darkest on the chart in the back, so that's why I went with that. And as you can see, people, I don't color very good in a straight line. I can't draw a straight line, save my life. This one I named the Sky Blue. Being that it's the lightest of the blue. And I think I would definitely consider this a sky blue. Okay, so that's all the blues. Let's take this and okay, this blue, my Prussian blue got mixed in with it, so it's probably not true to the color, unfortunately. Because once you lay down this dark Prussian blue, it's very hard to keep it. And look, it's getting over everything. And then the sky blue. Okay, unfortunately, I got it everywhere. All right, this is the navy blue, the blue, the Prussian blue. Okay, it's a bit messy, people, but yeah, if you're going to use this blue here, you're gonna have to be careful because it got all the way down here. It gets everywhere. It's all over my hands. Yeah. Let me just take this off camera and wipe it down a bit so I don't have those little crumbles everywhere. Just doing that, I got it. I would be using this very sparingly because it just gets everywhere. Okay, next, this is the one I'm calling Pansy. It's actually coming off way lighter on the paper than it looks on the crayon. I keep calling them crayons, but they're actually oil pastels. And this one is the one that I'm calling Magenta. It's more of a pink. So this one definitely could have been the pink. This is the one that I'm calling Purple Red. But it could definitely be magenta or something else. Not sure. Okay, let's get a cotton swab. Color these in. Okay. Wipe them down. Okay, these are pretty. But I'm not sure. Go over this a little bit because I wiped them off. If they exactly match the colors that I assigned them to. Which is pretty much the story of all these that I have swatched so far. Okay, this is the one that I said was coffee. To me, that looked more coffee than the other brown that I had. This one is the gray. It's a very, very light gray. One that I'm not sure will come out very well on the paper. And I think it had some blue on it because it's coming out a little bit blue in spots. This is the black. It's definitely black. And the last one is the white. Let me wipe this down. The white has a bit of the other colors mixed in, you can tell, but really, unless I had some black paper, I really can't test the white, which I don't have any. All right, I'll wipe the white first. Then I'll wipe the brown. And then the gray. And then the black. Okay, so these are very sloppy here at the bottom, but the brown, the coffee, the gray, which doesn't show up, the black, and the white. Now, really, once you lay down the dark colors, they get over everything. So this bottom half is just super messy. Everywhere I started the blue, it got really, really messy. You would have to be very careful using that on any kind of coloring page at all. And so, oh yeah, let me get my thoughts together, and then I'll come back and give you my final thoughts on these oil pastels. Okay, I'm back. What I did off camera was, I have this coloring book that I bought digitally, that's hard to say, people, that 100 Easy Designs adult coloring book by Coloring Book Cafe. It has 100 amazing coloring pages. I bought the digital version. It cost me $6.99. And the physical copy, if you go into Amazon right now, is only $5.99. So I think it's a very good deal for the money. Unfortunately, I don't print out the whole book at one time because it just wastes a bunch of ink. But what I did was I colored this page with the pastels. The background, I used chalk pastels, but the flower, leaves, everything else, I used the Aiffera oil pastels. And then what I did, well, first I went and did each petal in a different color. Now, as you can see, the pinks and the oranges kind of blend in. The blues, there's not much difference between these two blues. This was the aquamarine. Then you have the different greens, and really only one green really kind of stands out, and this is darker green. I used drab on the stem, or the whatever this thing in the middle is called. And then what I did was I went over all the lines, the middle, and the outline with Arteza colored pencils. I used the orange for this one, for this flower, because I wanted to kind of tie in all the different colors because it looked kind of odd with each of the petals being different. And then on this blue, which I'm not really crazy about the color scheme. I mean, I wouldn't really color it like this, but I was just trying to test out the pastels. I used an ultramarine blue, I think, to do the outlining. And then on the green, I just used a green pencil. I don't remember which color I used for that. But as you can see, once you color with them, they're not bad. And then what I used for the background is I used a darker color so that if I did go over the lines a bit, it would kind of cover it up. And actually this didn't work as bad as I thought it would with this one petal. And it didn't get everything everywhere, so it wasn't too bad. Now these pencils are pastels are regular price $8.98, and I bought them on a lightning deal for $6.89. So for $6.89, I think they're a pretty good deal. I don't know if they're worth the $8.98. I don't know if I would buy them again. I'd have to use them some more to kind of see if I like them. I might use them more for backgrounds. But I will say this, you're going to definitely have to swatch these because you're not going to be able to match the color that you see in the oil pastels to the color names that are written on the back. It's just, unless you've got a better eye than I do, which is entirely possible. And you're going to have to be careful with the black and the Prussian blue or the really dark blue, because as you can see from the swatch chart, it does have the potential to get everywhere, even though it didn't on this picture. And I really, for just throwing this together in 5-10 minutes is what I did, it didn't come out too bad. So do I recommend these? I do if you're not picky about the colors and you want a pretty inexpensive oil pastels to do backgrounds and such. And if you decide to use them for like a base color and then go over them with pencils, it works pretty good. So yes, I tentatively recommend these. I would personally wait to see if they would come on a lightning deal again, but I will link these in the description below in case you're interested. And that's the end of my videos, people. So you all have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.